This is Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. What does your future hold? It's time to find out with Psychic Susanna.
Welcome. Here you are with Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. Yes, you're in the right place if you want to grow and if you want to be better than you were yesterday. If you want to learn how to fulfill your life, this is the place you need to be. And today we have a special guest. But I want you to remember, if you don't hear the show today, pass the word after you hear it, and you want to rehear it, you can go to PsychicSusanna.com or KFAB, and you can listen to the show again, because I've got to tell you, I expect jewels coming from this woman's mouth. I am talking to an international, world-renowned author, teacher, lecturer, and Dr. Joan Borysenko. Welcome to
hi, Susanna.
Omaha.
What a thrill this is. I'm so glad we can do this.
Oh, I am so glad you worked around your schedule to fit us in. I understand you're in Las Vegas.
That's right.
But you live in Colorado, which I think is God's country.
It definitely is.
Unless you're
right
in
at
Omaha.
the edge of the wilderness.
Yeah, right, unless you're in Omaha. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about is you are really known as a massive leader in both the mind-body connection field. And as I understand this, you started out as a doctor, correct?
Well, I started out not as a medical doctor, but as a research doctor. I actually have a doctorate from Harvard Medical School, and by training, I'm a cancer cell biologist.
Okay. Now, what took you into this field that is breaking down limits that we thought we had?
You know, this is a really common question. People always say, how did a scientist get interested in the mind, the emotions, and, in fact, energy in general, and well beyond the body? And the answer is, I was into all of that before I became a scientist. As a young child at 10, I had a very serious mental illness, and without going into details, I was psychotic, I had obsessive-compulsive disorder, and I lived in a state of absolute terror. And one day I sat to pray, and I had an experience of an energy that was much larger than me, and that was totally personal and completely loving. And there in that energy field, I had a knowing, and I think you don't have to be a psychic to have a knowing. We all get guidance, Susanna.
I believe God talks to us all. Most of us are afraid to listen.
Correct. That's right. Exactly right. But when you're at the bottom of the barrel and in a state of terror or a state of poor health or any other crisis, you're more apt to listen because some of the barriers break down. And for me, I had a sense of exactly what it would take to recover from this illness and the sense that I could really do it. And I did what it was that came to me to do, which is too much to get into. Mm-hmm. And 3 or 4 days later, I was fine and went back to school, went back to my life. And I was left with several questions as a 10-year-old. And one was, what was that state of mind that I had accessed? Because it was so much preferable to the normal state of worry and thinking and that direct state of knowing and incredible peace. I wanted more of that. And I assumed it was somehow a spiritual state, and I became interested in studying the world's great religious traditions and shamanic traditions, which I've done for my whole life. Then, of course, I was fascinated by how could it be that somebody would be seriously mentally ill at one moment and then actually be able to recover later. What was that? And I thought, well, I better become a psychologist. I became fascinated with that. And then, of course, I wanted to know what actually went on in the body and the brain. And I became fascinated with biology. And that's what I've done all my life, is to weave together that intrinsic fascination, which is my calling. That's my spiritual destiny.
You know, I find that a lot of times people forget to realize that where we are is part of our learning and part of our growth. So the mental health issue that you had propelled you into being one of the most renowned lecturers on mental and spiritual and physical health. God bless that.
Well, definitely. And I think, if we take the time to listen closely to the stories of our own lives and peel away the external beliefs and really begin to say, well, what has it taught me? Or what is the potential there for learning that I haven't had? What do I need to do in order to come to peace with something in my life? There'll often be this kind of transformation, and the very thing that seems like a terrible affliction turns out to be a grace.
I understand this completely, and I hope our listeners are understanding that no matter where you are, you can move forward, and Dr. Joan is going to help us get forward. The power of belief and the mind thing. After that incident, I can understand you doing it. Were there any other incidents that made you feel like the mind is the answer to the body, the mind is, or the spirit is the answer to the body? How do you relate that all together in a piece?
Well, I've had a number of experiences. Back when I was 10 and psychotic, part of my psychosis was I thought I was being chased by headhunters who had poison darts. And I remember one day thinking I'd been struck with one, and my whole arm swelled up. And
wow.
There my body was responding to a belief that I had in a hallucination. Or there's a famous family story about my Uncle Dick, who just hated cheese. And I bet some of your listeners have had an experience with a food that was so bad that they get nauseous when they think of it. Mm-hmm. He was that way about cheese. And my mother had cooked a cheesecake, and he just didn't recognize what it was or that it had cheese in it. And it was so delicious, he had seconds. And then about a half an hour later, my mother said, "Hey, Dick, I'm surprised you ate that cheese. We all know you don't eat cheese." And he actually threw up right at the word cheese. And you knew that was his belief.
Okay, if our beliefs are that strong, then someone who has cancer and who has, uncurable diseases by what the doctor tells us, can that be conquered? What can be conquered?
It depends upon the illness. Mm-hmm. And what we know now, I've been fascinated with the placebo effect for years. Mm-hmm. And for example, it was many years ago in World War II, a famous incident where there was no more morphine and there was a wounded soldier. And so the nurse who was taking care of them gave him a shot of salt water, said it was morphine, and his pain went away. And Wonderful. What we know is that in terms of pain relief, the belief in a substance works extremely well. And maybe it will give, depending on you and your personality and the situation, 40, 50, 60, 70% relief. And that's really quite remarkable. And it also changes the way that the brain responds to the pain. So it's a whole mind-body continuum going on. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. They're finding now that some things respond better to the placebo effect than others. For example, warts. We've all heard maybe old wives' tales about rubbing moss from the dark side of a tree on a wart or painting it with gentian violet and having the wart go away. And I can tell you from experience that I did that with one of my children who had such a bad plantar wart they wanted to remove it surgically. And I made up a little kind of chant, "Be gone, be gone, be gone, wart, be gone." Uh-huh. And I told him if we repeated this and we held his foot with great love, the wart would go away. And sure enough, turned black and fell off in just a week or two.
Wonderful.
And the fact is this, though, that some illnesses will respond better to belief than others. And while there are several cases of spontaneous remission from cancer, on the records, and we don't know why they went away. Belief seems to have been a part of it, but in general, illnesses that involve pain receptors are more susceptible to belief than others. So as a scientist, I'm fascinated to see why. But I've seen belief. I've seen the power of belief do tremendous good for many, many conditions.
All right. We're going to take a little break right now, and then we're going to come back with you, Dr. Joan Borysenko. By the way, your website was phenomenal. Wonderful website. I don't know who did it. It's wonderful. You have a wonderful secretary. It was a pleasure getting a hold of you. But we will be right back. We're going to ask you more questions, but I also want to talk about the book that I got. It's not the end of the world. We will be right back with Dr. Joan Borysenko in just a minute.
Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. She knew I was going to say that.
Welcome back to Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. Yes, you can find us at PSYCHICSUZANNA.com. You can be a friend of ours on Facebook with Life with Psychic Susanna. Or, by the way, Dr. Joan Borysenko also has a Facebook. And she has a whole bunch of other things, a wonderful website. Joan, can you give us your website, please?
Yes, it depends on spelling Borysenko. So
that's exactly
it's my name, Joan Borysenko. That's Joan, B as in boy, Ory as in yes, S as in Sam, ENKO, Borysenko.com.
Okay. Now, your wonderful lady sent me the book. It's Not the End of the World. Now, this is a sort of a strange venue for you than your other books, is it not? Because you have Mending the Mind, and you have written 14 books, and most of them are about health. Is that not right?
Well, they're about health, or they're about emotional health, or they're about spirituality.
Okay.
And It's Not the End of the World is a book about resilience. Why do some people cave in when times get tough? And times are tough now for so many people, who've lost their job, who've lost their health insurance. God forbid that you live in Haiti or Chile. There are such difficulties, or the Middle East, all kinds of things going on. And yet some people take those difficult circumstances and they grow more sharp-witted, more compassionate, and more helpful to others. And some people just crack. They just can't recover from it. And my fascination is why. Is resilience, being able to bounce back from difficult times, just a genetic gift? Because, like happiness is halfway a genetic gift. And it turns out resilience is partially genetic. However, if you don't have it, you can learn it. It's a learnable skill. And with the world undergoing the changes that it is now, Susanna, we all have to learn how to be resilient so that we can help to birth the world that's meant to be.
So if we feel that we are broken and that we need to bring ourselves together, what suggestions would you give us?
Well, the keys to resilience are actually pretty simple. And one of them is that you have to be a realist. If you've lost your job, it doesn't do any good to sit around and say maybe the government's going to save me, or maybe the economy is going to turn around, or maybe some wishful thinking will help. You have to realistically say, this is how much money I've got, this is how long I can last, and even if the only job I can get is bagging groceries, it cuts down the burn rate of the money that I have left, and I will do that. And then combined with that, maybe I can start to study in a new field, and I can certainly use the power of my mind. I can think positively. But thinking positively without getting up off of your butt and actually going to do something is going to sink the ship. You need to be a realistic optimist.
Oh, that isn't heard that often, to be a realistic optimists. They, just tell you to think the thoughts, and again, without action, nothing comes.
Nothing comes.
Nothing comes. But so if we want to, how do we feel about ourselves if we're out of a job or if we're stressed on money? What point does the stress hurt us, or what point does the stress help us? What do we do with the stress?
That's such a great question, such a smart question, Susanna, because to a certain point, stress lights the fire under us. It's like, uh-oh, I got to get moving because I've got to make some money here.
Wait. Can we repeat that? I love that. Stress lights the fire?
That's right. Stress lights the fire under our motivation.
Wow.
But then let's say weeks and months have passed and we haven't gotten a job. Then after a while, the stress begins to turn into helplessness, and we give up.
All right.
And so the key here is to keep moving in a way that you can burn up the adrenaline of stress by doing good things without getting helpless. And this may sound strange, but let's say you've been looking really for a job, that you are truly willing to take whatever comes, and nothing has come. That you've done everything. You've connected with all the people that you know. You've really looked for every possibility. The next thing to do is to keep moving. Go help somebody else. Go to a homeless shelter. Volunteer. And what we know is that staves off depression, that the sense of altruism that gets your mind off of yourself actually helps you not only be healthier and stress less, but more creative.
So
also,
you're basically saying, look around, see that there are other people that are in worse shape, and then get involved in helping them better themselves, and that will better you? Is that
it will better you, and oftentimes you know how this happens. You do that, and some synchronous thing happens. You meet somebody there who says, wow, you haven't got a job? Well, my Uncle Mike is looking for this person or that, because it also increases your connections in the world. But I do think there's a spiritual component of it, too. I think when you take one step toward the help of others, you take one step toward God, toward divine compassion, it takes 99 steps back toward you.
There's a wonderful quote that I think about often that God tells us somewhere in the Bible, I'm sure, or somewhere, that what we give when we give to a poor man, then God can take care of us. If we don't worry about ourselves, but worry about others and help others, not worry, worry's an insult to God, but help others, that God will take care of us. If we get out of ourselves to help others.
And yes, because if you really are stressed out, if something difficult is happening and you start to just ruminate about how bad it is for you, you'll really end up in the pit. When you turn your energy outward toward helping others, your entire energy field shifts and changes, and that's so important.
Wonderful, wonderful. I must really thank you very much and hope that I can call on you again to be on our show to help our audience learn how to take control of their mind and body. Please go visit Dr. Joan Borysenko's website. Also, the book, If It's Not the End of the World, is phenomenal book. Check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on air with us, and God bless. Have a great day.
God bless you. Bye-bye, Susanna.
Bye-bye.
Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB.
That's right. You're here, right where you need to be on Life with Psychic Susanna at 1110 KFAB. Oh, I love this. What is this?
This?
Sting? Is this Sting?
You got it. This is Sting.
Oh, I just listened to this morning on myself.
Are you serious?
No.
It's something about Desert Rose.
Oh, I just listened to it. I love that song.
Oh, man. I'm surprised I could even hear myself. My headphones were so jacked up. Okay, now I can. It sounds a little better.
Wasn't that Dr. Joan just fascinating?
Very nice.
You know what I loved that she said? She said that, what was that? That stress lights a fire under life. And sometimes we need a little stress Sort of like not eating your steak from Sharks while you're doing the show, right, Jim?
Less stress
Okay.
for you.
All right. Yeah, that's a lot less stress for me. Yes, we're here. You can reach us at PsychicSuZanna.com, or you can always find us at Life with Psychic Susanna on Facebook. That's where you get a notice of who's coming up and going to be our guests next week. Each week, I let you informed. We also do postings, so please check us out. And we're here for you. You can give us a call, and we're going to take a look into your future right now on 1110 KFAB. And as we go to the phones, we're going to start our phones with Barbara.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm blessed, Barbara. Barbara, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wyoming.
I love this, Barbara. What part of Wyoming?
Oh, I'm in the eastern area.
Marvelous. Give me a city.
Lusk.
All right. And what kind of temperature?
Well, it was about, 55 degrees here today.
That's pretty good. What was ours, Jim?
We were 4-0.
Okay, so you're still pretty good out there, Barbara.
Yep.
Barbara, first of all, I want to tell you, are you aware, do you feel depressed a lot?
Sometimes. Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that depression is something that is a very lonely sport?
Yes.
Nobody can get into your pity parties or your depression because it's all about you.
Yes.
Okay. Barbara, you are so loved by so many people. And so many people would want to help you and support you. But you don't let them in. So whose fault is that, Barbara?
That's mine.
All right. When do you think we ought to change this?
Immediately.
Thank you. Thank you. Here's the part about you. You are a natural teacher, natural healer. People are drawn to you for your common sense, but you're not walking your own talk. And I want you to start doing that, okay?
Okay.
I do realize that the last 3 years have been rough.
Yes.
Okay? But you know what? It's getting better. Much, much better. Now, I don't want to ask you this, but have you ever done any scoring in a southern state? Apparently not. No. Oh, you get a little action, honey. In your 52nd year down in a southern state. Now, that's 3 years away. But right now, you can't have a healthy relationship because you're not emotionally healthy. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
All right. You can't ask someone to love you if you can't be loving and supporting to others, and if you're having a negative energy. Nobody wants to be around you then, okay? So at 52, we're going to be scoring in a southern state with, I'm thinking, a younger guy. Oh, this sounds like a lot of fun. Not that much younger. Don't get excited, all right? I am going to tell you, though, there does seem to be a male from the past who's going to come forward with the exact same clothes on. But he's got a different cologne. He smells good, combed his hair in a different way. You're thinking, oh, my God, he's changed. He really hasn't. He's going to pretend change. He really hasn't. And the reason he wants to be back in your life, Barbara, is he wants to be able to take advantage of you again. So I need you to be aware of that, all right?
Oh, okay.
Now, there are going to be 2 family additions this coming year.
Okay.
So just plan on that.
Okay.
Okay? I'm so glad you called. And stay tuned and pass the word.
Okay.
And bye-bye.
Bye.
That was cute getting a call from Wyoming. Now we're ready for other calls, are we not?
We could do it, Susanna. I haven't even had a chance to screen this. Should we just, like a wild card line? Let me try a sound effect.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's get to the call.
Shall we get to the call?
Let's give it a shot. I don't know who's here, but let's just go with it.
You know, I'm game. Who do we have on the phone? Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Who do we have?
Hi.
Who do we have on the phone?
It's Miss Burt.
Miss Burt. And where are you? Where are you calling from?
Council Bluffs, Iowa, right across the river.
Good girl. By the way, I'm going to be over there appearing in Council Bluffs on Monday at Barley's. You bet. Come on down. How old are you, young lady?
Oh, well, how old do I sound?
Oh, well, you know what? If I don't have your age, I don't. This is why we always screen calls.
78.
Okay.
78.
All right. First of all, I am going to tell you that there does seem to be money that is going to be coming from an unusual source within 70 days. We get 10% on that. Plan on 4 count them, 4 reunions within the next 3 months. 2 of them are going to be long distance. Okay? And I feel very good. That's going to be supportive with the past. There is going to be unexpected company in your kitchen within 30 days who's going to be telling you a lot of garbage with the past. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to buy it. You don't want to go there. All right? And that's going to be within 30 days. By the way, I do want you to know when you're 92, you're going to be having a birthday party with over 40 family members, and a lot of them you don't know right now, okay? I'm glad you called. Bye-bye. Now, Jim, we should probably give out the number, shouldn't we?
I thought that'd be a very pathetic.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's do it. You go for it, Jim.
Oh, I have to do it there?
Yeah.
Okay, then I want the sound effect.
That is so pathetic, Jim. Can we not have birds singing or something?
That was my science fiction CD. I apologize. I apologize for that.
So
very
bad.
much so.
That and then Gary.
So I have to do it again.
Oh my God!
That's the kind of guy I am.
And then Gary gave you a compliment this week, but you'll never get it now. Never get it now.
Okay, enough.
I'm giving out the numbers. It's 1-800. 543-1110. And what kind of song? And the other number is 558-1110. Please give us a call. We are here for you, and we're going to take your calls right after these commercial breaks.
Psychic Susanna.
Can't get through on the radio show? Call Psychic Susanna anytime at 712-276-9349. That's 712-276-9349. Or visit her webpage, PsychicSusanna.com.
Yeah, now that's Footloose, is it not?
You know, Susanna, I don't really know this music, but I always have to read what it says. It's Timbuktu, the future's so bright.
Really?
I need to wear sunglasses or something?
Really?
Yeah, Timbuktu.
Interesting. This is Life with Psychic Susanna. You've reached us right where you need to be. This is the show that's on 1110 KFAB that is about you and empowering you to be better every day. We want you to know whatever happened yesterday is done with. And as long as you grow through it and move through it, and you learn from it, then you don't always have to repeat the same problem again. Now, you can give us a call at 1-800-543-1110 or 558-1110. We will get a talking to you, and then we'll look into your future. The one thing I want you to remember, you can always find us at Life with Psychic Susanna on KFAB. And also the show that you heard today, which was phenomenal. You can tell your friends about. They can go to the webpage and they can download it and rehear it. She had some really wonderful jewels for us to hear. Right now, we're going to go to the 800 line again. Now, we had Wyoming. Where are you from, Daniel? Daniel?
Yeah, this is Daniel.
Where are you from, Daniel?
I'm from Ames, Iowa.
Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Daniel. Next week I'll be in Des Moines. I love Ames. What a wonderful town, all about education. Daniel, have I ever talked to you before?
I think so.
Okay. All right, Daniel.
Okay.
I am going to tell you, Daniel, that there is going to be a phone call that you're going to get that is going to be promising you an invitation that you're going to get excited about. The whole darn thing's not going to happen, and I want you to be aware of that. Okay?
Okay.
I'm also going to tell you that there is going to be a trip that you're going to take to a place you haven't been for a long time, and you're going to feel like you're going back home, and there's going to be some kind of settled, loving, supportive feelings with the past in a place you haven't been for a long time. This is a public place, okay? But you're going to feel like, why haven't I come here for a long time? It's going to be a very good thing. Now, Daniel,
excellent.
I'm going to put you on a spot. What did you think of our interview today?
Yes, it was great. I really enjoyed it very much.
And what did you enjoy about it? What did you learn from it?
Well, the connection that we have between mind and believe that communication with ourselves totally dictates the quality of our lives.
Thank you. Great. You listened. That was awesome, Daniel. Thank you for listening. And welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now we've got another call. Do we have?
Yes, we do. Michael on line 1.
Hello, Michael.
Hi,
Michael, how old are you, dear?
I'm 45.
All right. Michael, first of all, have you ever heard of the word procrastination?
Yes, I do it quite a bit.
Oh, baby. Not quite a bit. Honey, sometimes people need to put a napkin under your nose to know you're breathing. I mean, you're
yes.
a little too darn laid back, Michael.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware you have poor circulation?
Do I have poor circulation?
No. Are you aware you do have poor circulation?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Well, you can't be laid back and not have poor circulation, but I want you to get up and start moving a little. Does your legs bother you?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. We've got to give them a little exercise. We've got to get a little bit of working them, okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. What is your daughter's name?
I don't have a daughter.
Guess what?
Yes.
You do know the mother of your daughter.
I do know the mother of my daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, your daughter's already born.
My daughter's already born.
So
okay.
it's not one by the little swimmers. But there is a girl who will look to you as a father, love you as a father, and before she chose life, chose you. And you do know this woman.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, you're not moving out of yourself. Are you aware of what I'm saying?
No, I'm not.
You go back and listen to what Joan said.
Okay.
We have to move out of ourselves and get involved in other people, but you don't do that, do you?
No.
You sort of hide your light under a bushel.
Yes.
And Christ tells us not to do that.
Correct.
All right. Let's change that. There is someone who needs you, someone that you will play an instrumental role with that is right here around you now. So I need you to move out a little bit more. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a good commitment at 46.
A good commitment at 46? Oh.
But you have to move out. If you stay and not move out, you're not going to get it.
So I need to be more connected with others instead of just myself.
That's exactly right. And shut keep the radio on, but shut the TV off. All right?
Okay.
And get physically active. I'm not real thrilled with your circulation right now. Okay?
Okay.
By the way, you will raise 2 families.
2 families? Wow.
Yeah, take your vitamins, honey. Bye. Bye-bye. I wanted to get him off before he panicked. It's time for a break. We will be right back on 1110 KFAB. This is the place you want to be better every day, to grow. 1110 KFAB, Life with Psychic Susanna.
Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB.
That's right. You're right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. You can find us in a couple places. Find out where we're appearing in town this week at PsychicSusanna.com. Or you can join us at Life with Psychic Susanna on Facebook, and we're able to go into places. Jim, you raised your hand?
Yeah,
honey?
I was just the nice student over here. And we had a caller earlier tonight, Tim from West Omaha.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know where you were appearing, maybe tomorrow or real soon.
Tomorrow I'm in Council Bluffs. I'm at the Barley's.
Okay.
And Tuesday and Wednesday I'm at Sharks.
Okay, there you go,
The
Tim.
one who brought you the steaks.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
And they have
steak,
green
baked
beans.
potatoes,
Yeah.
green beans,
they take
salad
care of you at
roll,
Sharks.
2
yeah.
desserts, a strawberry cheesecake,
Yeah.
and that chocolate.
They like you. They like you there. That deep fat brownie, deep fat fried brownie. Yeah.
I very much like
All right, enough with your food. Let's go to the calls, honey. I
Yeah.
mean, let's get this together.
Okay,
All right.
Carol, line 2. Shall we try?
Let's do it. Carol, hello.
Well, hello. It's nice to talk with you.
Thank you, Carol. How old are you? I'd rather see so I don't have to add the age. You're supposed to show me the
47?
face.
Is that right, Carol?
Yeah.
I'm psychic. Am I correct on that, Carol?
Leave it
47?
alone, Jim. Don't go there. Carol, you're 47?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Jim, next time just hand me the paper. We don't have to talk about it.
I wouldn't act like I was a psychic. Come
All
on.
right, fine. I would have called psycho, but we'll talk later. Carol?
Yes. I have a couple different directions I'd like to go with you. I'll pick the most important if we have time.
Go ahead.
Here. We're trying to build a new construction home, and we're having difficulty finding a contractor.
Okay, first of all, the word try means failure.
Well...
Now wait, let me finish.
Yes.
You will build the home, and you will know who the contractor is in April. And I don't believe you've talked to him as yet.
Okay.
Okay? And it is someone that is extremely dependable, and I don't know if he's semi-retired or what, but he really will do an awesome job. Awesome job.
Marvelous.
And it comes to you through a friend. Okay?
All right.
What was the next question? How about if I tell you about some weight loss and health improvements? Is that all right with you?
You know what? You're pretty darn good.
Okay.
That's number 2 on my list to talk about.
You're going to be feeling better this year than you felt for years. But do you know why?
Why would that be?
Because you're going to take charge.
Okay.
You're going to get a little physically active.
Yes.
You're going to take some natural vitamins and minerals, drink a little water, and you're going to let go of the garbage you're carrying from the past. Okay?
Well, that would be a good idea.
That, you know what? When you carry garbage from the past, it just smells up today. I do want you to know there is a male from the past, a younger male, who's going to come back with the exact same garbage in a different bag. He's going to want you to get in it like you always do, and we take care of it for him. I'm going to tell you, when you carry other people's garbage, they don't learn to recycle. You're a natural teacher. You teach, you guide, but don't take on their garbage.
All right, then.
Okay? All right. I think we'd have time for maybe one more call. Shall we go to Laura? I understand she has some questions.
Whoops, my mic was off. Let's go
That's
with Laura.
how I like it, Jim. Yeah.
Go ahead, Laura.
You might have to answer this on a future show. I'll make it quick. I was wondering, in the Bible it says witchcraft is wrong. God's psychic or God's prophets are okay, but you're a psychic. How would you respond to that, or do you want to deal with it in a future show?
Well, here's a couple things I want you to know. First of all, in Corinthians, it talks about the gift. Also, Christ tells us that whatever He did, we can do. Mm-hmm. Also, like Joan of Arc.
Yes.
She had visions, and they thought she was a devil.
Yes, I'm not saying you're a devil.
No, I'm understanding this, okay? All right? And I think it's very important to trust your intuition when someone is talking to you. People prophesize all the time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But what you have to do is see if it resonates with your energy. And some people will say this is evil, some will say it's not. You go to some churches and they do it from the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whatever energy level you are at that you want to accept is okay.
Yes.
All right?
Asking questions are always better than not asking them
That
at all.
is exactly right. And really, too often in life, we turn our power over to someone else all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we go to a physician. He says we're going to be dying in 6 months, and we die in 6 months exactly.
I don't always take charge. I let the doctors take charge. No.
Well, yeah. We have to be in control of our life, and the Christ within us is in control.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can point to any article in the Bible, any verse, and it can be interpreted by any way.
Yes, ma'am.
And sadly, there are some who use it to control.
Mm-hmm.
Those who want to control you are not allowing the Christ within you to live.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I want you to always be aware of. Okay? If someone sells you fear, my favorite saying, and one of my favorite saying is, Christ trampled down death and made powerless the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yet quite often we find churches that will give the power to the devil. I'm going to suggest you look at the movie Stigmata. I thought that was a wonderful movie that talked about it. Several good times the year to watch movies. This is the time. Actually today was the adoration of the cross in my church, where we look as the cross as the resolution. But it's all about what your true beliefs are, and it's okay. And you should question. And I want to thank you for calling. God bless you. Have a great day. And this has been Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB. You come back next week. Guess who we have, Jim?
Oh, gosh, I do not know.
You really liked her because she was eye candy. Oh. Mary Kay Mueller.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, who's going to be talking to us about taking care of ourselves.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to that.
All right. Live long and prosper. We'll talk next week.
Life with Psychic Susanna on 1110 KFAB.